I can understand why men have given up dating because can someone make it make sense for me how these women want men to text them back fast, but not too fast, that it's too creepy. They want men to make six figures while working 20 hours a week while they still have quality time with them. If he has a good relationship with his mom, then that means he treats women well. But if he doesn't have a relationship with his mom, then that means he's automatically abusive. But then she doesn't want to ever talk about her daddy issues. If he's too nice and too kind, then that means that he wants something from you, or, there's an assumption that he's just buying you gifts and whining and dining you because he wants sex. But if he doesn't wine and dine you, then he's lazy, he doesn't care, and he's not putting in enough effort. You want men to lead, but you don't want to listen. You want men to show their masculinity and take charge and plan dates, but not too much masculinity that he comes off as aggressive, mean, rude, or condescending. You want men to be in tune with your emotions, but if he's too emotional, then he's weak and you don't trust him to make decisions and lead. He has to be
What
attractive,
the
but not
fuck?
too attractive that he looks like a fuck boy or somebody that gets around, because if he's too attractive, then he has too many options. But if he's not attractive enough, then you're not even looking in his direction. If he has a child and a baby mom, then you automatically assume that what baby mom would want to be single, and that makes him toxic. But if he's never been married or in a committed relationship, then that also makes him toxic, and that's a red flag because he's never been in a relationship before. You want men to initiate the dating stages of a relationship. You want men to initiate sex, but then when he stops initiating sex, then you assume that he's cheating on you. You want men to be honest and
Preach.
open and upfront, but your idea of honest and open and upfront is basically him telling you only the truth that validate your feelings and your experiences, because the moment that he invalidates how you feel, now he's narcissistic, he's abusive, and he's mentally and emotionally using you and abusing you. These
Preach that
women will
shit.
always say that they want men to be themselves and be authentic to who they are, but then there's an entire list of icks, like wearing sandals in winter, or him just getting coffee, or him getting sepsis, and you think it's funny and you're posting it on social media. But the moment that he posts an ugly picture of you on social media, now he's a piece of crap and he's picked the wrong picture, and now you feel bad about yourself. If he dresses well and he takes care of himself, then he's too feminine and he's trying to show off. But if he doesn't dress well enough and he doesn't show off and he dresses average, then he
Can't
looks like a
win.
broke ass loser bum, and you want nothing to do with him.
Can't
You
win.
want that man to have hobbies like going to play golf or gaming. But if he games too much or plays golf too much
He's too
or
busy. Not
inconveniences
enough
your
attention.
lifestyle or what you have going on, now you're pissed off. But if he doesn't have any hobbies, then he's a loser because he's too obsessed with you. But if he has too many hobbies and takes away time from you, then he
You don't get
doesn't
him.
care enough.
Yeah,
If a
exactly.
man respects a woman's boundaries, then he's being too creepy because he's just too good of a man. But if he doesn't respect her boundaries, then he's likely to
And he's
abuse her or
toxic.
SA her later on
And he's
down the road.
toxic.
If a man speaks loud, then that means that he's aggressive. If he speaks too soft, then that means he's too feminine. Men expect constant attention and praise all of the time. So if you give too much, then you're trying too hard. But if you give too little, then you're a lazy bum and you don't match the guys in her DMs. These women don't want men to be manipulative or liars or cheaters, but they'll turn around and show their butt cheeks online and call it, body positivity, to basically cheat on you and be narcissistic, but then it's still all of your fault. And the sad
My wife
reality
don't do that
is
shit.
that you could give
Thank
a
God.
woman everything that she could ever dream of: the house, the money, the cars, the emotional stability. You could provide, you could protect, you could check all of the boxes down the list. And guess what? She's going to turn around and say that she's bored, she's uninspired, she's not attracted to you. She's going to cheat on you with the next guy down the street who has no job, all because Susie Q has a better life on Instagram. But not only that, when she says that she's unhappy, she's going to get online and talk about how you're a narcissist, how you're abusive, even though you gave her everything that she could ever want.
This shit
And every
sounds.
single step of the way that the goalpost changed or the expectation,
This shit sounds insane.
especially unrealistic expectations, changed, you gave it to her and it still wasn't enough. So yeah, if anyone is ever wondering why men have stopped dating, this is a perfect example, because even as a woman, if you really sit back and look at it, it's so unrealistic and it's so delusional and it's so narcissistic that who the hell would want to put themselves through this? And it makes sense when you really think about it, because none of it actually makes sense. Women don't actually know what they want. They love the highs and lows of being incompatible with the wrong people instead of just being at peace, and then they blame the men for the like unfulfillment and the lack of peace within their lives, even though they're the ones creating this diabolical cycle over and over with different men. Okay, bye. I can understand why men have.
So comments got to say about this shit. They're like children, true. It's a lose-lose situation. Not a single woman in comments proves a point. Totally done. Where are the females at? It's exhausting as I woman. I don't even get it. Yeah, we don't get it either. Yeah. You know, thankfully I'm married. Y'all got to deal with that shit. Y'all got to deal with all of that crap, man. Yeah, ladies, this generation, man, y'all are cray. I ain't got to deal with none of this bullshit. My woman is good, bro. Happily married. Give her a prize. Am I married to an American? No. What I would recommend you guys do, find a non-American, a non-Western chick. Get with her. That's the best I can offer you guys. That shit is wild. Oh, she got this here.
Like, it doesn't matter how tall you are, if you are bare.
Mm-hmm.
If you are bare minimum mid, like, it doesn't matter how tall you are, your muscle, your money. This is the 100% most effective way to approach one. I have taken notes from men aged range 22 to 37, like decades of hoeing around. And now men on the internet are confirming that this has worked for them. Chances are you are focusing on the completely wrong thing when you're thinking about approaching. The number one goal of how you start the conversation is to simply start the conversation. One way to do this is with a respectful compliment, especially if it's on something that she consciously chose. This can be her hair, this can be her shirt, this can be the book that she's reading. All you got to do is start the conversation. If compliments just aren't coming into your mind, this can be a context question. Now, I go over pickup lines that relate to context questions and just how to keep conversations going in my workshop, which you can grab from the top of my page. These are things like, you're at a club, you ask, oh, where have you been out tonight? Did you just get in, or like, what's the vibe? Typically, this sort of conversation works better with a younger crowd, whereas the compliment will work better with slightly older, more mature women, because they, would appreciate a guy with balls. Make sure you're approaching her within eyesight so she doesn't get literally scared by you coming up behind her being like, I think you're so beautiful. And then just be normal. Try to speak relatively slowly, relatively quietly, politely, openly invite her out for coffee if she's free. Otherwise, move on. Follow from where.
I got some better advice, actually. Her advice is pretty good. It's pretty good. But listen to a fisherman, all right? I'm not going to call her fish, but listen to this guy here. I'd say this right now. Most of everything she said is true. However, what you want to do different is when you initially approach the girl, you approach her and you say something and come off as funny and lighthearted, walk away. Do not try to go the person into a long conversation initially. You got to warm her brain up to you. She got to come used to you. You see her again, like let's say you're at a gym or some normal other place. You see her again, go to the gym, by the way. You see her at the gym, one other day, approach her again, say something else. Try to be funny, try to be charismatic, try to do that. And then just nod your head, maybe give her a mild compliment, compliment the machines that she's using, maybe the form, that's it. Walk away. You did that twice. The next time she sees you, she's going to be more open. She's going to be more open to want to talk to you. And then after that, then you could get a conversation going. But the goal is to break the ice. And the way to break the ice is come off as a guy that's not too pushy. You got to make her comfortable. Whereas, oh, this guy's cool. He says something to me, then he walks off. And then he goes minds his own business. When a man does that, she's going to think he's competent and he becomes more trustworthy over time. Take my advice. This is a married guy telling you, all right? Do that shit. I'm out.